The Inoue code, what every fighter gets wrong. The wrong consensus. Think of this. Everyone quotes the knockout ratio of Naoya Inoue. They call it power. They call it dominance. That sounds right. It feels right, but it is wrong. This is where the genius gets misunderstood. The number shows the result, not the creativity, not the time it takes to build the shot, not the balance required to land it. Because most fighters see power, they prepare for impact. That preparation is nugatory, because the real danger is not the punch, it is the system behind it. Think of this, the mistake starts before the first bell. The Inoue file. So on paper, he looks complete. Multiple world champion, elite opposition dismantled, speed, precision, and composure. And this is the surface level of understanding. It sounds like a genius profile. It sounds like balance across all attributes. But that is not the answer. Because none of this explains the timing. None of this explains the creativity. None of this explains why opponents freeze. Think of this. Fighters study the resume. That study becomes nugatory. They prepare for what they see, not for what they do not understand. Think of this. The why is where the fight is ultimately lost. The punch creativity system. Now, Inoue's combinations are not random. They are constructed. Think of this. Jab to the body, right uppercut to the head, short left hook, then the big right hand, double left hooks, triple left hooks, jab, straight right to the head, then a left hook to the body, then jab to the body, then the right hand upstairs. This is creativity with purpose. This is genius disguised as repetition. Every sequence is built on balance. Every shot is placed with time in mind. Opponents think they recognize the pattern, but that recognition is false. Think of this. The pattern is only there to be broken, and that's the innovation. So now we're going to go to a talking head video to discuss this concept further. The timing trap. So when it comes to Inoue, he does not just outspeed you. That is kind of like an illusion. He kind of desyncs you. Let me explain, because this is a difference, and it's a big difference. It's everything. Now, most fighters operate on a rhythm. Elite fighters operate on a rhythm. Elite fighters like Evander Holyfield, Joe Kozagi, Roy Jones, Bivol, etc., etc., etc. But within every rhythm, if you study it, there's a predictable flow. Inoue studies that flow, then he breaks it. He pauses when you expect action. He attacks when you expect rest. This creates a gap, a moment where your system resets. This is where he lands. It looks like speed, it feels like speed, and to a certain extent it is speed, but it's more than speed, it's manipulation. He is not reacting, he is dictating when reactions happen. There's a difference. Once that control is established, the fight changes. Your timing becomes unreliable, your defense becomes late, your offense becomes hesitant. And hesitation in boxing is fatal. I repeat, hesitation in boxing is fatal. That is the trap, not physical, it's temporal. Think of this, you're not just losing exchanges, you are losing moments. And in those moments, the damage accumulates. The body warfare blueprint. Now the body shots, they look violent. They sound violent because they are violent. But that's not the point. They are designed, or they are not designed to finish. They are designed to open. Let me repeat. They are not designed to finish. They are designed to open. Because every shot to the body forces a reaction. The elbows drop. The stance tightens. The posture shifts. This is the real objective. Once posture changes, the head becomes available. So when you throw the left hook to the body, you have the posture that changes, and that opens up the shot to the head. This is why the knockouts look sudden, but they're not sudden. It's a perception. They are built. Fighters absorb the bodywork. They think they are managing it, They think they are surviving it, but they are wrong. Because each body shot is an investment, or it's a small adjustment, a small compromise in the structure. Over time, those compromises begin to stack. Then the headshot comes, and it's clean, it's sharp, and it's final. Casual viewers see the finish. Analysts mention the power. Think of this, very few study the setup, but that is where the fight is actually won. The psychological layer. So let me give a preface here. Psychology is so important in boxing. Psychology is so important. Now, when Beterbiev fought Bivol, and both of these boxers were elite boxers, Bivol's composure was crucial. Beterbiev was a beast, a monster, but Bivol's psychological composure was essential. It was essential for his successes in their fights. Now, Beterbiev is a real beast, but even beasts have a sense of mortality. And Bivol's composure, his psychological composure, was a telling factor. Now, before the bell, you can argue that the fight has already started. Look at the face-offs, calm, still, controlled, no wasted energy. This is not personality, this is pressure. Because Inoue, he does not react emotionally. That's not his forte, I think. I think that's the right word. He forces you to question your own state. After he gets hit, what's the response? He accelerates, but the acceleration is not reckless. The acceleration is not reckless. It is deliberate. And it sends a concise message. Your best shot was not enough. That message changes the behavior. It changes the behavior of both fighters, but it definitely changes the behavior of the opponent, because that fighter, that opponent becomes cautious, then reactive, then defensive. And once that shift happens, the initiative is gone. Inoue controls the mental pace the same way he controls the physical one. That is what makes the system complete. Not just physical dominance, but psychological authority. That's two phases. Phase one, physical dominance, but then phase two, the psychological authority, and they're both essential. By the time the exchanges intensify as the fight develops, the outcome is already leaning in one direction. Think of this, the body follows where the mind goes. The counter-argument, how to beat Naoya Inoue. So there currently is not a blueprint. There isn't a blueprint on how to beat Naoya Inoue. But he is mortal, he is human, so theoretically he can be beaten. So let's give some insight into how that could be done. So the first thing I would say, and I'm going to speak primarily from the Nakatani perspective, because he's going to be the next opponent who is formidable and is extremely credible. So from his perspective, he would need to use an effective jab. He's a southpaw, so he would need to jab from the southpaw position, and he would need to set it up from the feint. He would need to win the jab battle, and if he wins the jab battle, that means he picks up points to enable him to potentially win more rounds and therefore win a decision, and this will set up the backhand nicely. So that's really essential. And if you dominate the jab game, you nullify your opponent's offense as well. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to use selective lateral movement. So when Inoue wants to punch, then use distance control and lateral movement to, again, disrupt his rhythm, the same way that Inoue likes to disrupt other people's rhythm. The third thing is intelligent body targeting. What does this mean? It means setting up the body shots with the headshots, but you have to catch and counter if necessary, and you need to exit without receiving damage. So if you just fall in and start ripping to the body, Inoue will counter effectively because he's an elite level operator. So you need to be careful entering this phase, but when you do enter this phase, you need to set up the body shots effectively, and then you need to exit intelligently, and you need to nullify the opportunities that Inoue will have to hurt you. So you need to hurt him as opposed to him hurting you. And if you do this effectively, the body work is an investment for later in the fight. The fourth thing is to walk Inoue into counters. So if you notice, and this was very evident in the second round against when Inoue fought Picasso, Inoue likes to accelerate through the gears. Now when he accelerates, you need to counter effectively to nullify that acceleration. So from the southpaw position, when he's throwing that short little left hook trying to double up, you can counter with the right hook. And you effectively need to stop Inoue going through the phases. And if you can counter effectively, you can hurt Inoue, you can stop him going through the phases, and you can potentially score a knockdown. So it's very important because if you allow Inoue just to go through the gears, it's a long way back. And when he does this, it builds his confidence and it creates knockout opportunities for him. And the other thing as well, the fifth thing, is to mix punching at the target and punching through the target. So say in the middle of the ring, there'll be times when you need to punch at the target to build points. But if you can get Inoue against the ropes, you can take a risk and punch through the target to try and increase the opportunity of hurting Inoue or potentially getting a knockout. You've got to be very careful with this though, because again, a skilled operator like Inoue will, if you punch through the target and you make it too obvious, he will counter. So you need to mix and set traps so that he doesn't see the intention. And you can't apply one layer effectively. You have to apply all the layers simultaneously, consistently under pressure. And I guess, like I said, Inoue is a great elite fighter. He's a great fighter, but he's still a fighter. He's still mortal. So the right discipline, the fighter with the right tools, the right credibility, the right game plan, the right implementation, the right understanding. This is where the conversation could get interesting. Think of this. Theory only matters when someone can execute. The verdict. The Inoue code is not magic. It's not magic. It is structure. But it is a structure that most fighters do not fully understand. They don't understand it. They lack awareness because they prepare for the power, they train for the speed, but they ignore the timing and they overlook the manipulation. And this is why they lose. Because to beat this system, you need more than skill. You need awareness. You need a high level of awareness. You need discipline. You need to study the geometry of the fight, not just the highlights, not just the outcomes. You need to fully understand the process because everything is built, but nothing is accidental. This is not chaos. This is design. I repeat, this is not chaos. This is design. And until someone can match that design, inevitably, the results will remain the same. Think of this, the code is visible, but it is not currently readable, because understanding it is one thing, but solving it is another. So that's the end of the video. Now I'm trying to build a digital boxing community. So that means I'm interested in your comments, your questions, and your observations. Now, if you want to support the channel, simply like and subscribe. And if you want to watch more content, then click here or click here. As always, thanks for your time. It is much appreciated.